Economists typically begin analysis of firm behavior by assuming that firms maximize profit. Profit is total revenue less total cost. It is the residual left over after the firm collects payments from customers or consumers and pays all of its cost. Total revenue is the product of price and quantity sold when the firm sells one product at one price. We're usually going to deal with a situation where we're assuming the firm sells one product at one price. Total cost is average total cost times output. Therefore, an equivalent formula for profit is parentheses price minus average total cost, close parentheses, times quantity. Economists begin their analysis of how firms behave by assuming that the firms maximize profit for four reasons. The first is that the assumption is logical. The assumption is logical because owners have an incentive to maximize profit. Owners receive profit as income, dividends, or retained earnings. Since the owners receive it, they would like to maximize it. Moreover, owners have, at least in theory, the ability to dictate the actions of the firm. Owners of small firms are usually heavily engaged in the decision-making at their firms. For large corporations, shareholders own those large corporations. They have the ability to vote to replace the board of directors if they believe the firm is not acting in their best interest. As a parenthetical comment, whether shareholders are really in charge is an area of active research. Since owners can dictate the actions of the firm and have an incentive to maximize profit, we begin by assuming that the firm maximizes profit. The second reason we make this assumption is that it leads to accurate predictions. Economists don't really believe that all firms everywhere are always maximizing profit. They do believe that they can predict the qualitative responses of firms to changes in the environment by assuming that they do. For example, we predict that a firm will increase price and quantity when the demand it faces increases because that is what a profit-maximizing firm would do. Empirical evidence confirms that firms do in fact typically increase price and quantity when demand increases. Therefore, the assumption helps economists achieve one of the two overarching goals in economics. That goal is to predict. The third reason we use the assumption of profit maximization is that the analysis identifies how owners can identify whether the firm is maximizing profit or not. If you are an owner and want to maximize profit, you'd like to know if you're doing a good job or not. The analysis will help you do that. Related to that is the fourth reason. The analysis identifies changes owners can implement to increase profit when they learn that the firm is not maximizing profit. So the material we develop here can help an owner figure out a way to get more profit if they are not currently maximizing profit. When we talk about profit maximization, we're going to start with a very important relationship between marginal revenue, marginal cost, and profit maximization. The firm maximizes its profit when it produces the level of output that makes marginal revenue equal to marginal cost. If no level of output makes marginal revenue equal to marginal cost, then the firm maximizes profit by producing the last unit of output for which marginal revenue is greater than marginal cost. Now, marginal revenue is the change in total revenue divided by change in output when demand is constant. It measures the extra revenue earned by the firm when it increases the amount that it produces and sells by 1 unit of output. If marginal revenue is greater than marginal cost, then profit increases as output increases. The extra revenue is bigger than the extra cost, so profit will go up. If marginal revenue is less than marginal cost, then profit decreases as output increases. The extra revenue is less than the extra cost, so profit goes down. And if marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost, then profit does not change as output increases. The extra revenue just offsets the extra cost. The firm maximizes profit by increasing output whenever marginal revenue is greater than marginal cost, and by not increasing output whenever marginal revenue is less than marginal cost. Now here's a simple little example. We have 3 rows on our table. Quantity goes from 10 to 12, total revenue 100 to 135, total cost from 80 to 108. Let's look at what happens to profit. It goes from 20 to 30 down to 27. As output goes from 10 to 11, marginal revenue is 20, marginal cost is 10. Since marginal revenue is above marginal cost, profit rises. The difference between marginal revenue and marginal cost is $10. Profit goes up by that amount of $10. But when output goes from 11 to 12, marginal cost is now higher than marginal revenue. That means that profit will decrease as we increase output from 11 to 12. We want to increase output whenever marginal revenue is above marginal cost. We want to stop. We don't want to increase output whenever marginal cost is above marginal revenue. Go look at the Expand Your Understanding questions, and we'll come back in a little bit.